Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Details, the series where we take a look at some of the cooler things you may not have noticed in your favourite games. In today's video, we try to cut in line in Uncharted 4, we perform a brutal execution in Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, and we find a guy hiding on top of an elevator in Metro Exodus. As always, if you think you know of a detail that I may have missed, then the best place to let me know is in the comment section or on my social media accounts, the links to which are in the description. Oh, and as always, if you are enjoying this series, then a like is really appreciated. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So to start things off, let's take our customary look at Mafia 2. It's becoming somewhat of a running theme to feature this game in this series, but it really was ahead of its time in so many different ways. Besides, each time I mention Mafia 2 in these videos, you guys then suggest even more details from the game, so we're stuck in this never-ending cycle now. So today's detail from Mafia 2 is this. So when the window in the apartment building is open, the hustle and bustle of the city below is clear to hear. When the window is shut, the sounds are muffled and more harder to make out. Now this window is actually located in Joe's apartment, but the fact that 2K Czech thought to add this level of detail to a window, which a large amount of players won't even interact with, is really cool. So in the last episode of this series, we tried to rob a blind man in Saints Row 2. Don't worry, it didn't work as he couldn't see the gun we were pointing at his face, which was probably for the best. Thankfully, this next detail isn't as ghoulish. When driving around the city of Steelport, there is a chance that your character will do this. So I had to cut that clip shorter than I would have liked due to copyright reasons, but as you hopefully heard, your character will sing along to certain songs on the radio. I mean, if you can call this singing. The Modern Warfare 2 remaster is pretty great. I mean, I would have loved it even more if it included the chaotic multiplayer of the original, but having the chance to revisit Modern Warfare 2's brilliant campaign was a perfect nostalgia trip. Hidden in the remaster are several small details and animations that weren't present in the original game, most of which we've already covered on this channel. One detail that I haven't covered yet is this.
About here. Let's take this nice and slow. You take the one on the left. 1, 3, 1, 2. Tango to your left.
So 9 times out of 10, you and Soap will take these two guards out from a distance, but if you're quick enough, you can sneak in close and dispatch of them in a much more brutal fashion. This cool animation wasn't present in the original Modern Warfare 2. This next detail is pretty small, but I chose to include it in this video as it made me laugh. Moving Out is a game all about moving people out of their homes. It's the perfect couch co-op game and is full of charm. Take this clip for example.
Take that, mailbox. Ship and handle this. Time to move on. Okay. Leave the letterbox alone.
As I said, it's not a huge detail, but the fact that the game acknowledges my bad behaviour made me laugh. Up next is the ever impressive Metro Exodus. Now, whether you like the move to a more open world setting or not, one thing that we can hopefully all agree on is that Metro Exodus takes place in one of the most immersive video game worlds ever. Each room feels lived in and each area feels like it has a story to tell. Well, the detail from Metro Exodus can be found at the very beginning of the game inside an elevator. So as was the case with the window in Mafia 2, the percentage of players who will even walk into this lift, let alone jump up and down in it, is probably very low. Saying that, I can't even imagine the reaction of players when they saw this for the first time. Up next is Apex Legends, and more specifically its new champion Loba. For those unaware, Loba's parents were killed by fellow champion Revenant. Now, if those two were to team up together, I'm sure Loba wouldn't be too happy about it. Well, here is how Loba thanks other champions.
Another eliminate. Let's go that way.
Thanks, beautiful.
And here is how she thanks Revenant.
I hope you don't expect me to thank you.
Didn't your parents teach you any manners?
Revenant's response is also a major burn, by the way. There are also special interactions with the two when they revive each other.
Die later. We need more firepower.
Does this mean we're friends now? Saved by the monster who killed your parents. Isn't this delicious?
Talk about them again. I dare you.
As a fan of the backstory in Apex Legends, these small interactions between champions are pretty awesome. So up next is the first of two details from Star Wars games, the first of which can be found in Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Jedi Academy released all the way back in 2003, but at the time it was a game adored by Star Wars fans, with many even calling for a remake. The detail from Jedi Academy that caught my eye is this. So during the levels where it rains, the raindrops will evaporate when they hit your lightsaber, which is a really nice touch. The next Star Wars related detail is from the Phoenix that rose from the ashes, Star Wars Battlefront 2. In one of the many updates Battlefront 2 received, the ability to play as BB-8 was added. Now, as my mum always said, rolling around on the floor all the time is a surefire way to get dirty. Well, luckily the guys at DICE took that into account for when you're playing as BB-8. So it's pretty cool that BB-8 can get dirty, but what if you hate the look of a dirty spherical robot? Well, simply take a dip into the water to clean yourself up. Up next is the game with 1001 versions, The Elder Scrolls V: SKYRIM. With the various different releases of Skyrim that have been thrown at us over the years, I would be surprised to meet a video game fan who doesn't own a copy of Skyrim somewhere. Of course, if you don't own the game, I'm sure there'll be a PS5 and Xbox Series X version of the game for you to spend your hard-earned money on. The detail we're taking a look at today can be spotted on tree stumps all around Skyrim, with this particular stump being found at Riverwood. I don't know why I like this detail so much, but seeing all of the bugs running around a tree stump is pretty cool. So the final details of this video come from the excellent Uncharted 4. The fate of the Uncharted series is sort of up in the air at the moment, as Naughty Dog have confirmed that Uncharted 4 was Nathan Drake's last adventure, which is a huge shame as the Uncharted series, game for game, is one of the strongest video game series of the last 20 years. Everything from graphics to gameplay felt pretty spot on in Uncharted 4 thanks to subtle effects like this. So the bags of grain that Nathan takes cover behind will gradually empty as they're shot at, which looks really cool. The next detail from Uncharted 4 and the final detail for this video can be seen when trying to cut in line.
Sorry.
So I know this is a scripted sequence, but it's moments like this that can really make a game world feel alive. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, then a like is really appreciated, and if you want to see more videos like this one, then be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss a video. A big thank you to In the Deep 13 for the Metro Exodus detail, and Master Wolf 34 for the Saints Row 2 detail. Your help is really appreciated. If you want to support what I do further, then check out the link to my Patreon in the description for early access to videos and other benefits. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.